Would you mind bringing them to the
Yes.
office now? Dr.
Are they all there?
Yes.
I can't be sure until I've done a stock take, but it looks like most of them anyway.
Not quite all. Mrs. Jackson has just found some pills in a locker in the maternity wing. What do you have to say about that, Latham?
Oh, I bet you didn't find them in my locker.
Oh, no. You're not stupid enough to do that, are you? Where were these pills found?
In the showers. Latham says they belong to Coulson.
Well?
I'm not lagging.
Oh, you're learning fast. It's quite a coincidence that on both occasions pills have been found. You have been involved, Latham.
Well, like you said, it's just a coincidence.
Well, in the future, the corridor gate between maternity and the main wing will be locked at all times. That way, these coincidences will not happen again. I'm very disappointed in you, Coulson. When you first arrived here, there was a certain amount of sympathy for you.
Yes, that's why I'm still here.
Well, unless you have some explanation for your behavior, I shall have no alternative but to put you back into solitary. Very well. Miss Bennett, take Latham back to the maternity wing and put Coulson in solitary for 48 hours.
All right, Smith, out of bed. You too, O'Connell. The police will be here for you any minute now.
I thought my case didn't come up till this afternoon.
All I know is that they'll be coming first thing this morning. Now get dressed.
Well, Miss Bennett, has there been any news about David? Has he decided to give himself up?
Oh, what do you think?
She doesn't know, does she? Otherwise she wouldn't ask. Here, I've got a question for you. Where's Roz?
In solitary. Where you'll be, Smith, if you don't watch your mouth. Remember, you're the one I caught holding those drugs.
G'day, Bee.
G'day, Lizzie.
Get any sleep last night, Pat? Not much.
We'll say she didn't. Tossing and turning all night. Neither of us got any rest.
Sorry. Roz was probably better off in solitary.
Better off than she deserves. Never mind. I'll get her when she comes out.
Oh, Bee, don't be too hard on her. She was only getting me a couple of tranquilizers.
Yeah? Well, who were the rest of the pills for, then? She wasn't giving them all away. She was trafficking. And no one gets away with that. Not while I'm around.
Bee's just got a thumper. Otherwise, everybody will think she's getting too soft. You know her rules about drugs. Oh, come on, love. We'll be late for breaking.
Good morning, Inspector Allen.
Mrs. Davidson?
What brings you here?
Mrs. O'Connell's due in court today. We're driving her in.
I wouldn't have thought that was your job.
Well, I've got to be in court anyway to give evidence.
And you thought you might ask her some questions about her son on the way? Do you think she has a chance of being released?
Hard to say. She claims she went outside to persuade O'Connell to give himself up. Bit hard to punish her for that.
Well, let's hope so. For her children's sake as well as for her own.
Do you think this is such a good idea? She's not going to be too pleased to see us.
Do you want the story or don't you?
Yes.
Come on, then.
It's just that I don't see how bothering Mrs. Devlin's going to help us.
She's Pat O'Connell's mother, isn't she?
Yes, but she's an old lady. She's not well and may have to go into hospital.
Who told you that?
Karen.
Mrs. Travers.
Yes.
What's the matter with her?
Karen?
No. Mrs. What's her name? Devlin.
Oh, varicose veins. That's why they were so keen to get Pat out on parole in the first place. If she has to go into hospital, the kids end up in a home. There's no one else to look after them.
Good angle. Innocent suffer while guilty ones still at large. Terrific story. Are they cute-looking kids?
I suppose so.
Could help if we got a photo.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on. With the right sort of publicity, we'll get their old woman off yet. Mind if we come in, Mrs. Devlin?
Devlin, Mr.
Fraser, I don't see how you can help Pat now.
Well, we believe we can get a lot of sympathy for him, Mrs. Devlin, especially looking at it from your point of view.
Yes, must be difficult with your bad legs. Alex tells me you might have to go in a hospital. If you do, what's going to happen to the kids?
G'day, young fella. What's your name?
Andrew.
That's a nice-looking train set you got there, Andrew. Get that for Christmas?
Yeah, David gave it to me.
David? Your brother? Huh. When was he here, son?
He wasn't. We just told Andrew it was from David. We didn't want them to think their brother had forgotten them.
Ah, of course not. You still haven't answered my question about the hospital?
Depends on what happens to Pat in court.
Well, she's due today. You going?
I've been called as a witness. If you'll excuse me, I've got something on the stove.
Yep. That's where we should be, mate, at the court. That's where the story's going to be.
Mm-hmm. So Davey boy was here prior to the shootout, eh?
How'd you make that out?
The toys.
You heard Mrs. Devlin. They just told the kids they were from David.
Oh, come off it, Alex. A local toy shop was knocked off a couple of nights ago. If we go down to the local police station and check the stolen list, those toys will be on it.
And they may not be.
You want to bet? So long, kids. Enjoy the trains.
Bye, kids.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah. Oh, thanks very much, Mrs. Devlin. Don't worry. We'll see ourselves out. Come on.
Thanks, Mrs. Devlin.
Bye.
It's only me, Dave.
Where the hell have you been? Get in and shut the door.
I got a paper.
Anything about Mum in it?
No.
Her trial must be coming up soon.
It just says they're mounting a massive search for you. They're even searching
I can read.
Well, you got to get out of the state.
Not until I find out what happens to Mum. Look, I just want to find out what happens to her, OK? Then I'll go. Might go up north. Queensland, maybe Darwin. I've always wanted to live in the sun. Don't get to see much inside. Don't worry, Herbie, you'll be rid of me. You'll be in the clear.
Yeah. Sure, David. Anything you say.
I was round at Mrs. Devlin's this morning.
Oh, how is she?
Much the same. Jack Symington, he's the guy I told you about, the one working on the paper with me. He's found out that David O'Connell broke into a toy shop and stole some toys.
That's hardly shattering news, is it, considering the trouble he's in already?
You don't understand. Look, he gave the toys to his kid brother and sister. They were playing with them at the house. Jack saw them.
You mean you took that reporter to the Devlin place?
I told you, he's working on the paper with me.
And you took him there?
Yes.
Of all the stupid things to do.
I didn't know.
Don't you realise Pat could be had up for receiving?
Of course I do. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You mean the police know already?
I thought I could do a story.
The story? Well, why don't you just stop blundering in and spoiling everything?
Well, you brought me in on this in the first place, remember?
Yes, I remember. I'll never forget it either, or forgive myself.
Karen, we...
Get out!
What's that damn reporter doing still hanging around? Hey, what's the matter?
That damn reporter has just found out that David O'Connell stole some toys and gave them to his brother and sister. By now the police will have found out and Pat will have been charged with receiving.
Hell, I knew something like this would happen. I told you not to get involved.
You told me not to get involved. What right have you got to tell me anything?
Every right.
Why?
Because I love you. And I want to marry you when you eventually come to your senses. That's if you'll have me.
Oh. Well, Greg, I don't think this is a very good time to be discussing marriage.
Why not?
Well, look what's going on around us. Pat almost back in prison. Her son on the run for murder. Doreen's so freaked she won't even step outside her bedroom door.
So I don't see how it's going to help anybody if I don't tell you how I feel. Unless you don't feel the same way, of course.
Oh, Greg, that isn't it. the other day when I heard that 2 men had been shot outside Pat's place and I thought one of them was you. Well, I realized then how much I cared about you. I know it's probably unfair to ask, but couldn't we wait for a